Alright, welcome back to Sokoban the RPG. We'll be tackling the second half of the snowy area in this video, and things will get interesting, to say the least. But first, we see someone we haven't seen in quite a while. Tom, at last, you returned. It seems that I have... May I ask you something first? Sure. Have you noticed something strange about the sky? Now that you mention it, the moon looked a bit off. I can recall it being full at first, but then later I saw a crescent moon. If we look up now, it's full again. How is that possible? Beats me. But yeah, that was indeed what I was getting at. So, how are the puzzles going? At first, I found them fairly straightforward, but I have the feeling that they're slowly getting more complicated. Yeah, I have that too. By the way, in the ballroom, when I last saw you, you suddenly disappeared right in the middle of me solving a puzzle. Where'd you go? Me? I simply proceeded to the next room. A door suddenly opened up, allowing me to leave. Really? I seem to recall you explicitly stating that you were stuck in a corner with no doors whatsoever. Oh, did I say that? You must have misunderstood. I meant that there were no unlocked doors, of course. Oh, okay. I just found it a little odd. I'm really worried for a second. I apologize. It was not my intention. Also, do you know a guy named Anderson? You mean you don't? Should I? I thought you said you couldn't remember anything either. Well, I regained this memory just after we cracked the code. Anderson is Dad's boss. Dad? You mean that our dad? Lewis, you're my sister. I'm your brother. How? Come on, don't be such a wuss. It shouldn't be such a great shock. We're both quite pale with contrasting black hair. We share the same last name, Garner. You are Lewis Garner. I am Tom Garner. I didn't know. Lewis, we really have to pick up the pace a bit. This is going far too slowly. Just get on with the puzzles, I guess. Maybe you'll learn a thing or two. I don't understand. Give me a break. What are you doing? Excuse me. I'm trying to get this fire going. I, for one, do not have the luxury of a fully equipped tent. Just go on solving those puzzles and hurry a bit, will ya? We don't have all day. What's going into him all of a sudden? I better continue quickly. I'm starting to freeze again already. Curious. A very mellow piano track for this part of the game. Interesting puzzle. Divided into two parts by one vertical line of goal positions. The idea is to fill it up from the bottom to the top. But we have a boulder sitting here that's kind of blocking this bottom area off. So we need to take care of that first. And the way to do that, it's fairly simple. Just do it like this. Okay. So now we have only 4 more balls to worry about, but there's still some stuff going on. Namely, if we want to fill up the top location here, these two, we need to be able to walk around to get behind both of these boulders, so they both need to come down still. Getting one of these down is fairly easy, but we still can't get behind here should this be blocked off. So yeah, we need to be careful. We'll also do this. And here you have a nice space of just putting this here. So now we're happy because we can open this up. Put this one to the top. And then fill these up and close the whole thing up. I like this puzzle. I really like it. So here we have a puzzle with a very long solution. All these boulders have to go here, because this is the only place to fill up this line from. But first we need to get this moving, which is not trivial to accomplish. It's alright, you need to push a little bit. And now it's just a matter of trying to fill these boulders in as efficiently as possible. Don't quite remember how, but maybe I'll figure out on the fly. Just bringing them in one by one. Trying to create as much space as I can. Something went wrong there. When did that happen? When did that happen? Let's do the same thing as before. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Apologies for that. Still not sure when the second boulder, when the two boulders got next to each other there. Maybe I did it by accident at some point. I'm not sure. I feel like I did the same thing as last time. Now, I don't have the same issue, so. No idea. Oops. Yeah, so you basically just try to fit them in as efficiently as you can. Doing stuff like this. There you go. Then you can basically just put them all in. Yeah. That's the idea. Hey, snowman. Hey, snowman. What would it be doing here in the middle of this maze? Does it mean that there are children nearby? Children with families? With adults who could rescue me? It's awfully close to the old kitchen apartment I just was. Though the table had been set for a whole household. Might a family have been living there? And if so, where might it be now? Jeez. It really is too cold to stop for too long a period of time. I really ought to continue solving puzzles now. Hello? Dad, Tom, is anyone there? Where are you? I'm getting really cold. I'm lost. Help me. Help me. Lewis, is it you? Tom, where are you? Don't worry, I'm coming. Don't worry, I got you. Stay close to me. Together, we're warm enough. Thanks, Tom. You really saved me. Again. Of course, Lewis. I'll always save you. Always. Really? So, when at a party... What happened to your eye? Don't you remember, Lewis? You did this to me. I did? Wait, this isn't right. I just remembered something for the first time. I don't think it was quite right. I'm really confused. Maybe I should just continue. Okay, so this is another case of 3 puzzles which seem very similar but are not quite the same. Among which this one is the trickiest because you can only solve it by doing the right moves first. If you do this, you can't solve it anymore. Big no. So you need to come in from the top. And then it's actually surprisingly easy. If you move this first, that is. Yep. So that's that. So this one is fairly easy. You just kind of put them in one by one. Now the last one, the one you really don't want to mess up, is this one. Looks really close to this one, but isn't quite the same. This little area is just on the other side this time. But yeah, the solution is quite similar. Kind of do this and this and this. Excellent. And there's the tent. Very nice. Let's go. Another puzzle split in two. The big side and the small side, and we need to push all of them into this walkway. So let's see. In order to pushing down anything down, this one has to move. So I guess we need 5 boulders in this area. So how do we make enough room to fit all those boulders in here? Let's see. Do I remember? Yeah, like this. Really takes some effort to get it right. Because now I haven't blocked in anything, and I can still maneuver the boulders out. All 5. So yeah, this one takes quite some thought to get right. Now, we do need to be careful with this last boulder. Because the exit is on this side. Actually, shouldn't push the lower one in here, because we need to walk around it still. So we are here when we close up. Excellent. Another challenging puzzle. Yeah. Kinda need to make space for another boulder. Like this. Because when you because these 3 are a bit jammed together, and the only way to make space is to push one down. Now you need to take a close look at how you're going to fill up these sides here. Because once you push this one in here, you are going to have trouble filling up these 2 spots, right? Because this place will become very difficult to get a boulder, or not. Ah, I see. So you put one there, and then it may be tempting to put one below here first, but this is actually harder. Because this one, because then we can fill the corner up later. That was it. That was it. Right. Almost fooled myself there. Which I know I've done before in this playthrough. But not this time. Not this time. This one. This is a difficult puzzle, and the reason is that you need to create structure where there is none. It's just a rectangle with boulders and goals seemingly randomly put in place, and you only need to move the one boulder to the right spot, making to the exit. But that's easier said than done, because yeah, you can't make out any structure from this. It's really not an easy puzzle. You need to move a lot of stuff in order to do these kinds of things. There we go. There we go. So yeah, this is a solution. This is the solution I usually do. I don't know if there's a shorter solution to this, but this is my solution. It's the only one I can remember. All right. Another tricky puzzle. First of all, you just want to push some boulders to the side, like this. So you still walk around, no sweat. Now this boulder is still a little too high, so we need to walk around just to push it down. And to complete our nice little walkway all the way around, might as well put it here. So now the challenge becomes, well, how do I fill up these two spots, but at the same time ensure that I can also get these top four in the right place? Because you can see that if you would, at this point in the puzzle, fill up these, you can't put these four in the right place without having to walk around. So first we need to do some work here. We need to do it in such a way that we can walk through, but also solve it without having to walk around. And the way to do it is like this, because this one can be easily slotted in here to complete the puzzle. So here we go, filling that one up, filling this one up, and here, that one. Subtle. There's a lot of boulders in this fairly large puzzle. There's 7 of them. We have this weird little area over here. So it makes sense to have these two boulders going to these locations. But we have to be careful because we don't. Because once these two are in location, we do lose this little walkway here. I see that I have already messed up because I blocked off this path here. So, oops, wrong button. Yeah. The correct way to start is this. That looks a lot better. But what I said still applies. This one requires a lot of boulder maneuvering. On this side of the puzzle first. Before you should worry about the other side of the puzzle. Especially this one. This one needs to get out of the way. So this is a nice way of storing a lot of boulders. And I'm putting this one up. Gives me a nice walkway all the way around. Put this one down there just momentarily. Storing it there so then we can do this. This. And yeah, we can basically proceed to fill up the last 4 spots. But again, it's not clear that you need to do this storage here right from the outset. So I think that's what makes this puzzle challenging. But yeah, this is the idea. This is the solution. And this is also a difficult puzzle. You need to fill up this little rectangle, and there's essentially 3 ways to approach it from. You can get one from here, you can get them from the side, and you can get boulders from down here. So that means that so you can see you have a lot of space in this lower area. So these 2 middle squares, they are easy to fill. You don't really need to worry about them too much. So that means that these side squares are more difficult. And you can see that if this one is filled up, you can't get a boulder here unless you've already stored one here. So a good idea might be to, to put one over there. And you also need to worry about these 2 lower squares. But it might be a good idea to get some boulders over here so you can slot them in from the side. So that's what we're going to try. I always forget the exact way to do this. Because I always mess up. This is going to happen more and more often during this playthrough, that I just mess up, because I think I was a little bit too enthusiastic with putting this boulder in that corner. Just because it's very lovely to be able to walk around this and do, That was not what I want to do. Yeah, getting them over here, this is a good idea. Making space, making space. So I think this is a good point to fill up this square. And also this top square. And now since I have 2 boulders stored in this area here, I can push them in to fill the 2 remaining off-center squares. And then the last 2 boulders can just come in from the bottom. Jeez. So yeah, that's that one. And graciously a tent after that mind bender. Let's continue to what do we have here? The path appears to end here, and all you can see is a deep hole in the ground. The bottom is completely obscured by darkness. Jump in. Here goes nothing. Where am I? In a cave of some sort? No, this dungeon is most definitely man-made. It's slightly warmer in here than above the ground, and the absence of the wind is also most welcome. Alright, so we have this puzzle from which we start from the center, and we need to get them in this star shape, but not quite, because you can see that to my top left, actually there's a free spot. It doesn't have to be a boulder. So yeah, let's try to see if we can correct this one. First try. So let's first, make some space. Unfold all this. Alright. Push everything to the side, and it looks like we have a lot of space. But it's not quite the case. You will have to be careful to solve this. Alright, so let's just try to slowly fill up everything. Let's put that one in position. Like this, or not like that. Okay, so now I can put these 2 in position. And now these 2. And then this. Excellent work. And the path opens. And we've solved it. That was an odd little detour. Though, judging from my surroundings, I should be back on track again. I really wonder what the cave thing was for. Me too. I wonder if that area looks familiar to anyone. This puzzle, I don't think it's very difficult, but for some reason I always end up having trouble with it. Also, the music that plays in this part of the snowy forest is one of my favorite tracks from the game. I really, really like this track. Really proud of how it turned out. Alright, so the idea here is that you need to get this one out of its awkward position. And the way to do that is to push this one up. That's the idea. That's the big trick. And if you have these two boulders in those precise locations, then you're happy because you can just put them where they need to be immediately, and then complete these last two. Yeah, that's it. Another big puzzle. First move, this. Be careful not to push it down, you will run into trouble later. Second, this boulder needs to move to the side a little bit. What you do like this. Now there is enough room to push this one down and to just open up this path. Now you can see that this space can only be occupied by the boulder that's on top of me at this point. But we need this walkway here to push anything more to the right. So we kind of need to keep this one right there for yeah, at least until we have 4 boulders sufficiently to the right. You should make that 5 because here there's another spot hidden, which this boulder here is going to fill. And of course we need to wait with filling that one, so we basically need to move these 3 boulders down here to the right in such a way that we don't block anything in. Now we do have created another space here, so that's a good thing. Now we need 2 more. Unfortunately, there's just enough room for 2. All the way around. Block this area off. Block this area off. Now we need to use that space in the top to actually fill up these lower and upper goal positions first, and then we sweep these in from the side. There we go. Cool. Puzzle number 30. One of these big symmetric puzzles. We need to fill a square, and we have a lot of space at the top. Now I would lie if I told you that I remember the solution, so we'll just have to find it out as we play. I really should have done a quick recap playthrough for myself before recording this this series, but you know, isn't it more interesting to see my actual thought process solving my own puzzles? So I think I lucked out, and it all falls perfectly into place the way I did it. Yeah, I guess that's the solution. Yeah. This puzzle, hidden subtlety with this area, which will become apparent in the later stages of the puzzle. Let's first just try to move around some stuff. Looks very inviting to put 2 blocks in this area and still being able to walk around, so we will do that. But you can see that there is some tension right here. This space needs to be filled, but then yeah, these 2 spaces need to be free. So let's first fill this one and then these. But you can also see that once these are filled, we actually can't move any blocks that come from down here to the right anymore. So first we need to move these snowballs far enough to the right. Unfortunately, this little lantern gives us precisely 2 locations to store boulders pushed to the right. Now there is another subtlety that if I would fill up these 2 spaces, I actually can't fill up these 2 anymore, just because of the way this is set up. So now we actually need to first move these around a bit so we can put them where they should, and then finally we take these from the center. There's a lot going on there, a lot of observations you need to make before you can solve it. I think we're almost out of the snowy area, and there's this puzzle. This is a plain challenging puzzle. I think this is one of the most... This is definitely the most difficult puzzle from the snowy area. A lot of people reported having problems or difficulties finding the solution to this particular puzzle. Something in my throat. Yeah, so a lot of people really struggled with this one. And the reason is that it's hard to see. Yeah, the solution is quite well hidden, I think. And there's a lot going on. There is... At the end, the boulders all need to go here. But you kind of want to be able to walk around this as long as possible. Like the moment I would push this one to the side, I would have blocked this in already. So I kind of need a way to store these 4 boulders in this area. I need a way to store them in such a way that I can later retrieve them all and push them through this hole down without having to walk around this. And how do you accomplish that? And the answer is that did I mess up? Or did I not? Let's restart. I've been talking too much, I lost my track. So, yeah, you need to get these in a very special set of positions. And it's not immediately clear that they should go there, but they must go there. Let's see if I can even remember the solution. What were the positions again? I guess this will make for an interesting bit of gameplay, because I don't remember how the precise solution went. I only have a vague idea of what the solution was. Wait, so how did we start? we started off like this, and I feel like I do want to open up this path here. Right, that's a good idea. Now I want to move some stuff. Maybe do stuff like this. Alright. Yeah, this is it. Now I remember. I'm clicking buttons I shouldn't click. I'm skipping puzzles. This is a whole huge disaster. Okay, so I remember the solution, and then I accidentally pushed this boulder 2 spots, which I didn't mean to do. And I think I skipped the puzzle. There's a whole lot of interesting chain of events going down. But yeah, so this is what I wanted to do, and then my intention was to do this. Because this is a very special configuration. Yeah, now I can basically fill up this thing. Because with some work and some rotation, I will be able to wiggle a boulder out of here. Filling all of this up. There we go. So what happened? I sold the skipped map. Oh, I sold it. Okay, cool. Okay, very well. Now yeah, this is the last puzzle. But this is also not one to underestimate. I think the opening moves were something like this. And this. Filling up the corners. Often a good idea. Yeah, so you kind of want to put these down. Actually, I don't think it needs to go all the way down. Do it like this, and then you're basically free to just fill up the side like this. So yeah, that one is a lot easier. The last one was definitely a lot more challenging. Alright, another building. I'm finally saved from this blizzard. Lewis, good to see you. Could I ask of you one more favor? Sure, Dad. What is it? I wouldn't want Rosanna here tonight while we're hosting a party. She's still so young. I understand. The noise may be most unsettling for her. Exactly, yes, that's it. So could you please be so kind as to escort her to the neighbor's house? She spent the night there before. No problem, I'll get to it right away. Thank you for your assistance. Where might Rosanna be? This is my room. I wonder who locked the door. Unfortunately, I do not have a key of my own. Tom likes his privacy more than anyone, and therefore he spends most of his days in his room with the door locked. Hey Rosanna, how's it going? Hey Lewis, I'm fine, I'm just messing around a bit. What brings you to my room? They're just throwing another party tonight. He thought it would be better if you... Yeah, I know. He wants me to get a good rest tonight, so we'll have to stay at the neighbor's place, I guess? Yeah, that's it. So grab all the stuff you think you will need, and if you think you're done, meet me downstairs. Hold on, sis. I'm pretty good at this. Just wait for a second. All set. Really? That was impressive. Are you sure I didn't forget something? The full 100%. Well, okay then. Follow me, then I'll take you to the place. Alright. Getting some wholesome vibes. Ah, good to see you two together. Hi Dad. We're headed for the neighbor's place. Very well, I'll see you soon. You're surely going to the neighbor's place? Yeah, he's very kind. I know, he's a good man. Come on, Rosanna, we don't have all day. Doesn't go too far away. That's an old statue. Should this be here? Hello, Mr. Hardy? Yes? It's me, Lewis. I'm bringing over Rosanna to stay for the night. I assume my father communicated this beforehand? Ah, yes, that's right. I'm coming. Hold on. How's it going, you two? I'm fine, thanks. I'm doing great. How about you, Miss Hardy? I'm doing terrifically as well, dear. So, your father's hosting another party tonight, huh? Yeah, they seem to follow each other up in increasingly rapid succession. Rosanna, why don't you go ahead inside and make some tea? And we can discuss what we've been up to over the past couple of weeks. And I still might have some cookies laying around somewhere. I'll get right to it. Bye, Ross. See you tomorrow. Bye, sis. No, for real though, Lewis. How have you been holding up with all your duties lately? I don't really know. I just must... as long as you remember that there's nothing to be ashamed of. Don't let the kids at school get to you. Just stay strong. Thanks, I'll try. Sometimes sacrifices ought to be made in order to achieve a higher goal. Whether it's justified to do so is of course a whole other story. Is this still there? What are you chatting about? Oh, nothing really. I was just telling your sister that should the kids at school ever try to pick on her again, she should just you should try to fight them off. Don't let people near you try to hurt you. That would be foolish, wouldn't you agree? I fully agree. So we're in the bathroom. Looks familiar, but not quite as we remember it. There's our friend. Here I am, once more. It's a pleasure, as always. Let's just get down to business as soon as possible, shan't we? I know that this guy is highly dangerous, and getting killed or whatever at this stage wouldn't be all that advantageous. If that's what you desire, very well. Allow me to explain. A few hours ago, a sports event came to a close. 4 teams competed against each other, each team playing exactly once against every other team. And so all teams played 3 matches, and because of time constraints, these were divided into 3 different rounds. This way, during every round, all 4 teams were playing in 2 simultaneous matches. Not a single match ended in a tie. What on earth is he talking about? The teams were well matched. None of them managed to win all matches, and none suffered the unthinkable fate of losing them all. It is known that Team A succeeded in winning its first and third match. Furthermore, Team C came out victorious in its first match. Lastly, Team D unfortunately came a little too short in its second match, and so lost. In this room there are 5 young gentlemen you may or may not recognize from before. They all went out to watch the games, and they have come here to share the thoughts with you. But remember, only one of them speaks the truth. Given the information I provided, please identify whose claim is true, and then tell me. Then I will provide you with the key to the exit. Understood? Good luck. Oh man, this is far too complicated. Yeah, this is a very interesting puzzle. So from what he says, you can work out in which round which team won. In each round you can determine which of the teams won, but you don't quite know the matchups in each round. And I think there is 2 possibilities, but it's easier to talk to the people and just try to see what their statement being true would would imply for the other statements, because there's a lot of statements that imply each other, and that cannot happen if only one of them speaks the truth. I think that's the subtlest point of this puzzle. And if I recall correctly, it's the 5th guy that tells the truth. Well done. I knew I could count on you. Sure you do. Here's the key, as promised. The man hands you the bathroom key. Now please leave. Don't worry. I will. So leaving we will do. Turn the key in the lock opens. When it's raining, the worms will come to the surface from deep underground. They leave behind the dark, everlasting dirt and venture into broad daylight. To what end, I don't know, but the fact that they do remains. They're not like birds. The rain victoriously sends them into a collective hiding until there's not a single one out to be seen. Again, where they go, I do not know, but the fact that they disappear remains. The worms, kings of the underground, the birds, rulers of the vast and extending skies. 2 species destined to never cross paths. Yet they do. When the rains have ceased, the aerial creatures strike down and touch the thin border that separates their world from that of the worms. They mockingly trample the grass, imitating the sound of raindrops, tricking the small-brained worms into surfacing. Birds have the advantage of wit and wisdom. The worms get eaten and die. Not all life was created equal. Some are born with the ability to reason. Others just follow orders and do as they should. Some were born in a mansion. Others under an overpass or in the back of a cab. Unwanted. Abandoned. Discarded. Some were born to rule. Others to obey. Some were born to create, others to consume. I don't know what I was born for, and I don't want to know either, for when I do, I won't be able to control my actions. I would attempt to defy. I would try to escape. Escape from, I don't really know what from. It would be unwise for me to leave without at least talking to him for a few minutes. There was such a mess around here. How kind of you to show, Lewis. My mother forced me to go. I'm still of the opinion that I can dispense with your help. It's up to the patient to decide whether they are helped or not. Help is not something you can receive against your will. I'm completely healthy. Are you really, though? Yes, of course. Why wouldn't I be? Tell me, Lewis, how often can you remember your dreams? I'm not really a dreamer, sorry. Is that really so? That's most remarkable. For your mother told me that for the past few weeks you talked to my mother? Of course, dear. I ought to discuss progress with my clients. Last time I was on the phone with your mother, she told me this one fascinating detail. Well, it was more than a detail, to be frank. What's she been saying? Well, she confided to me that over the past month or so, you've developed the rather uncanny habit of waking up each night with a loud scream. Though before any of your relatives can reach you, you appear to be fast asleep again, and no signs of trouble appear present. I do that? I'm afraid so. And it wouldn't be like your mother to lie to me. She sounded concerned, and therefore asked me to have a good talk with you, for a change. As you seem to be at a loss for words at the moment, I shall take this opportunity to apologize for bringing this news so abruptly and bluntly as I did. It amazes me that you appear to have no recollection of the events whatsoever. This has kept me thinking for the past few days. You see, when we first met, your mother explained to me that the reason for our meetings originates from your frequent encounters with bullies at your school. According to your mother, things aren't really improving. Excuse me. And she claims that you've suffered both physically and mentally from these frequent ambushes. Your mother is concerned about you, and that's a good thing. And I want you to realize that. Rather unexpectedly, things seem to have taken a turn for the worse lately. Furthermore, it's your symptoms that really baffle me. The sudden outbursts of emotion that your mother describes to me, and the accompanied memory loss, they suggest some great trauma, suffering or agony you've had to endure for a substantial period of time, but that you have locked away deep down, as if not to recognize, no, acknowledge the severity of the situation. Such deep traumas are quite rare, as most people would address the issue timely, though some keep it all inside, where they think it can't hurt them. Such people may appear completely normal on the outside, but they are a wound spring on the inside, ready to snap at any instant. It can transform these people in an irreparable manner. Once a rope has snapped, there is no reattaching the two ends like they once were. Given the fact that the pulling you suffer on a daily basis is something we've talked a lot about, and you and your mother, I do not suspect that to be the cause for all this agony, this pain that swells inside you. I'm concerned, Lewis. I really am. I want to help you. Lewis, you have to believe me when I claim that I can. You have to accept my aid. Will you? Please tell me, Lewis, what has changed in the past month? Who or what has been hurting you all this time? My father has been throwing a lot of parties lately. Where am I now? It's so warm, I love it. So now I'm at the beach, huh? I couldn't have borne the cold for much longer, so I won't hear me complaining. Maybe I could take it easy for a while. Solving these puzzles while enjoying the heat of the sun, honestly, doesn't sound like too bad of a time. I'm glad I'm out of that disgusting old derelict building as well. It still baffles me, those people might have patiently awaited my arrival for hours. Truthfully, it kinda creeps me out. Well, I might rest for a while. Room is small, but I'll fit inside. Alright. That's the end of this episode. I hope this was helpful to everyone stuck in the second half of the snow forest. Because yeah, the puzzles there are getting on quite tricky. So yeah, hope this helped. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!